Well, that's what I built out of the cedar. Now believe me, I'm going to try to make this thing disappear. I could have made it all real pretty and made it part of the mount, but my idea is that I'm going to make the backboard disappear. I'm going to accessorize it, and after it's hanging on the wall, you won't notice it. You'll be noticing the mount, not the backboard. Hopefully. Well, gentlemen, here's the deal. Not only do you have to worry about how you want it to look, you also have to worry about where the screws are going to go, and you got to build this thing bulletproof because you're going to have a bunch of yahoos moving it around. It's not just going to hang on the wall for the next 30 years. You know, somebody's going to move it, and when they move it, it's got to be tough. So that also dictates where these antlers can go and the skulls can go and all that type of thing. So here's what I finally wound up with. Okay, just like that salad bowl mount that it would look good on the table, what I did is changed it up so it sort of looks like that inverted, if that makes sense. But this is nice and solid. It's got a bunch of screws in the back of it. Of course, you have to hide them, but this is the next phase and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully it'll come together. Now what I've done is secured that antler, or that rack right there, to the antler. I ran a screw through the antler into the skull, and now I got to disguise some way to go through the antlers and give it another mounting point. Now what I've done, y'all, is I ran screw through the antler into the skull, through this wood into the back of this antler. Now you have to pre-drill every hole and then use the drill screw. You got to be very careful because these antlers can crack, and of course the bone is real fragile. But now you can see everything's rock solid, and I can feel comfortable with that antler set there and the skull just sitting on top right there. Now, once again, that Nilgai skull fits on the antler extremely well right there. It's very secure. The antlers poke through the skull, kind of hold it in place. So I can put it somewhere else, but then I got to drill a lot of holes, and it may or may not be as secure as right there. And I'm really thinking that that's where it's going to go, strictly because of a mechanical standpoint. That's the way these things go together, and sometimes that's just the way it is. If you look real close, the moose antler comes right through the eye of the Nilgai, but it really doesn't take away from the whole mount. Kind of adds to it, I believe. But it's also such a secure point to mount that skull, that's how I'm going to have to do it. Now I got away with just hot gluing that Nilgai skull in place. It fit on there just so perfectly that I just hot glued it, and it's very solid. Now I'm not going to say you can pick it up, but it's solid enough to where general use it won't be an issue. I'm going to put that boar skull right there on the bottom, and I'm just going to hot glue it in place. It's the easiest way to hide everything. I don't have to run a bunch of screws through the antlers, and it should be just fine. Well, it's coming along. I'm trying to keep it asymmetrical, not having all the horns look at each other, the skulls look at each other. Okay, y'all, added the coyote skull, bobcat skull. Gonna add a few more things. We're almost there. One more thing to remember about this: you want to hide all the screws, and if it just doesn't look right, just keep adding more crap, and that's how you disguise it. But we're almost there. Okay, y'all, if you're going to do a bone mount, a leg hold trap is definitely an accessory that you should put on there. It's guaranteed to piss off any PETA member, animal rights guy, whatever. Gonna piss them off, because when they see that leg hold trap, it just makes a statement. Now, I used to trap quite a bit when I was younger, and so this is going on the mount. It's also going to break up the outline of the backboard. We are almost there. Just need something else, just something else. One more thing. Now I got some of that buckskin, and I think I'm going to stick that around the top edge just to kind of break up the outline, and then we're going to hang that sucker on the wall. Kind of liking the way it looks. A little bit different. And I can always add more and take stuff off, so I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of digging it. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I think that kind of breaks up the outline and kind of adds something to it. Now, I'm going to extend that down the sides, and I think that'll frame it in. And I think I can call that mount finished. Hopefully, I can get some decent light and show y'all proper, because it's kind of bad lighting out here right now. It's also hotter than hell. Well, it's finished. Got that little buckskin around the corners, kind of frames it in. Looks pretty sweet. Now the bottom part down there, I'm probably going to hang my bows off there and add a little bit of that to it. And we'll see what happens, but that mount's finished. I think it looks pretty awesome. Well, there you go. That is the mount. And I'm really kind of digging it. Well, gentlemen, that's how you build a mount. Now, that could have came out 1,000 different ways, but that's how it came out, and I'm really kind of digging it. Now, the lighting inside isn't real great in my house because I got some of those stupid green bulbs, so it really doesn't do it justice, but I think once I get it up on the wall, it's going to look pretty good. And, of course, it would look better in a lodge or something like that, but, you know, you only can do what you can do. But, anyway, I'm kind of liking it, so that's how you mount it. It's pretty simple. Just get the bones, make a frame, and throw a bunch of crap together. It's always going to look good because it's all about the memories anyway. It's really okay, gentlemen, I hope you liked my mount. If I start calling it a piece, you know I'm in trouble. Came out pretty good, and as I start killing stuff with my bow or find interesting things out in the field, I'll probably incorporate them into the mount. I still got plenty of room to put it on there. Now, it'll probably look a lot better over my fireplace, but I'll take what I can get. I have to deal with the wife, so what can I say? But eventually down here on the bottom, I'm probably going to put some hooks or some more deer antlers, and I'm going to take my bow, which I store in a gun sleeve, and I'll probably store my bow right across the bottom down there. That's the only issue, is this big old horn sticking out right here, hits you in the head. I was hoping that this would be a little bit higher, but you got to take what you can get. So that's how you do it. It's pretty straightforward. Get your skulls ready, build a backboard, and then just let your imagination go wild, and that's what you'll wind up with. Now, if you're into this kind of thing, that's cool. If you're not, well, can't help you. But I kind of like it. I think it looks good. And eventually, maybe I'll put it in a small cabin and it'll really look good. So anyway, this is Hog Zone! And that's how we kill them.